Bam! What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is Homecoming, the HBCU podcast, guys. This is our second episode, and don't forget to follow us on all platforms. Right? We're on Apple for podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and then come check us out on YouTube, man. Get the full video, get the full experience so you can enjoy this HBCU life with us.
Can I say two things? I want to
Yeah.
say no. I want to say two things. One, are your hands dry? Because when you were rubbing them together, they were very loud.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. All right, and then two, and I appreciate the shout out. Very good intro, guys. We're still learning. We're trying to figure this out.
Good
But can I tell
intro.
you a pet peeve of mine when I'm on
Uh-oh.
YouTube? This is not relating to
Uh-oh.
podcasts, but I don't like somebody telling me to hit the like button or subscribe,
I
sir
didn't say
or
that, did I?
madam. You did it, but it was
Whew.
giving me that energy, sir or
No,
madam.
no,
I
no. I
will
don't
at
say that.
my
I
own
don't say that.
discretion. You
Yeah, I don't
understand?
say that, man.
Don't
Yeah.
remind me and don't prompt me. I'm watching your video,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
get to the gist of the
yeah.
video, and
I
then
don't
I'll
say
make
that
my choice.
because I
It's
see it
annoying.
so
I feel
much.
like it's already
I
it's
understand
known.
it, but it's like it's a known thing. You know,
Like don't force my hand, or I will, out of spite, thumbs down your video. Anyways, yes, welcome to the Homecoming HBCU podcast. We bring you
yes.
the latest and greatest. And honestly, guys, this is if you want downright facts and just stats. This isn't the podcast for you, man. It's just
Nope.
me, my homie JT. We're talking about our HBCU experience, talking about stories that we find compelling, and yeah, I mean that's basically what we're doing. So you got to go to somebody else's podcast or somebody else's channel if you're just trying to get HBCU sports stats and things like that. Yes, please fix your camera. I could barely see Kobe. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my
It's
man. He
isn't
said,
it crazy how many years have passed already? It's just like, yo, time is
yeah.
flying.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what were you doing in the moment?
Yes. His death and Michael Jackson's death, I
I
remember
remember.
it like detailed verbatim. I can tell you exactly what I was doing. Both times I got the news, I was working.
Oh wow.
When Michael Jackson died, working. I just had to like pull myself together, had to go home, cried,
Wow.
called my mom.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant, I was working, had to go to the back where like we used to throw banquets in this
Yeah.
back room, but because it was slow, that room was like not being used, and I had to just get my emotions together
Oh,
because
because you were back.
I was in Houston. Yeah, I was in
Yep. Because it
Houston
was right before. It was right before everything. Yep. It was in
working at this
January.
Cajun restaurant, the Rupor, and I got the news. I got it on my phone. I'm just like,
It was
you know,
crazy.
you like how you read something because you have ESPN alerts. I
Yeah.
read it, and it's almost like I wasn't reading it right. Like something was
Yeah.
like wrong. So I closed my, did a little power button and clicked it back and swiped up, and it said it. I'm just like, what? And that's giving me PTSD with my ESPN alerts now since that
Yeah.
moment.
Yes.
Especially right after every time I see it, I'm like, just making
Yeah.
sure it's nothing crazy, son.
Like
Nothing crazy, because I
I
can't
was.
take nothing like that.
It was crazy. I was with Faith. We were doing our vision boards, and to me, the text was like, "Hey,
Mm,
is James all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm chilling." You know what I'm
what?
saying? I got my phone,
See?
and then next thing you
Didn't
know,
even know,
ding, 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 phones just start going off. What's going
bro.
on? Breaking news. Everything stopped because we were watching something. It was like breaking news. I was like, "Nah, I don't. That that can't be
That
right.
can't be right. Almost like you're not reading it
I don't
right.
believe. I don't believe." And
Yeah.
then I was like,
Hey.
"Oh." And then I went right to the store and poured one up. That's what
Mm,
happens.
very
Listen, guys,
sad.
this was years ago, so I wouldn't do it now. I'll probably be in a moment. It was sad, man.
Very sad. Very tragic.
It was
But
sad.
yeah, nice Kobe poster behind you right
Yes,
there. You know.
my man,
Um,
100 game.
but I'm actually very excited about this episode.
Yes,
I am excited because I get to interview the one and only James Thomas the third. Is it the third?
yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Got a
Yep.
nice long lineage there. So when you before we get started on the interview, when you have a child, when you have a son, is he going to be the fourth, or are we going to
I don't know.
calm down with all that and let
I
him have
don't
his
know
own
yet.
name? Okay, well, something to think about.
He might have his own name. I don't know, man. I might be a tough
Something to
act to
think
follow.
about.
I didn't think about that until Braun said it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting. So I don't know. I've been thinking about not doing it, but you know,
We'll see.
we'll see. I
We'll
don't know.
see.
Might be like,
Oh, hey. So I
like,
So for y'all who can't see what's going on right now, James, he has on a purple and gold Omega Sci-Fi shirt on. He
mm-hmm.
has a lantern of some sort. I don't know what that is over there in the corner, but I gotta attribute that to his fraternity as well.
Yep.
So he is a Q, actually my favorite fraternity on campus. Went to Howard University, of course, and isn't the Alpha chapter there?
Yeah,
Started at
man.
Howard. There you have
Yeah.
it. I mean, the type of love I received from the Qs on the yard every time I went to class. Some of the first friends, like guy friends that I had, were Qs, like
Yeah.
total gentlemen, so chill. Unless you went to one of their parties, then it's it's a
Different.
it's a whole different ball game. But for the most part, man, just really like upstanding gentlemen. So my first question to you, so we can get all the basics out of the way,
Okay.
and listen, I'm going to preface this because I know there are things you can't talk about, but you will talk about it as much as you can.
Of course.
Okay? Don't give me
Gotcha.
those very vague, I can't answer bullshit that you did when we were being interviewed on your
You you
wife's
you 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 know what?
show.
I told her I apologize about that
It was
because I
bullshit.
could have been better.
Elaborate.
I could have
You know
elaborated.
why? Because I
I could
went
have
on YouTube
elaborated.
and I saw other
I could have elaborated.
cues elaborating a little bit more. I'm
Yeah,
not saying give away secret handshakes and
I
all the
got you.
secrets and all that
I'll
stuff, but
elaborate.
give me a little something. I want to know a little something.
Yeah, I told my wife when they so by while my wife and my sister-in-law interviewed us, we're gonna definitely post that. But I was
It was a
very
nice interview.
it's a very nice interview. I was like, but the funny thing is,
You were
I
very
apologize.
apprehensive.
I was.
Was it because Faith was there and your marriage was on the
I don't,
line?
no, no,
Okay.
no. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. I told her. I literally told her like last night. I was like, I apologize
That's good. That sounds like a
because
healthy
I
marriage.
should have. I should have said something.
And what did she say? Fuck you?
She said, "No, it's good that y'all do it on here."
Yeah, let me know something.
Yeah,
Because I will say this, I think black like Greek fraternities and sororities, it is a quintessential part, very like one of the pillars of just going to a black college or university. Like
yeah,
I stepped on Howard's campus. I'm Nigerian descent. I don't
yeah,
have any ties to what a lot of people who came from African American families, like people whose parents are from here, whose great, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? So they had a better understanding. I knew nothing about it besides my stepmasters in high school being
yeah,
adults in AKA. So I couldn't really grasp that concept until I got to Howard, and it was
yeah,
just like, whoa, this is a little different. So and it's very, it's like one of those things, man. It's just one of those things where you see it and you're just automatically kind of drawn to like, what
yes,
is this?
yes,
Right? Okay. So that
yeah,
being said, you went to
okay,
Bowie State.
yes,
Why did you, out of all five, because if for y'all who don't know, it's called the Divine Nine. So there's
yes,
nine um like major fraternities and sororities. There's
hmm
five fraternities, okay?
hmm
So great thing about the Omegas, I did a little bit of research. They were the actual like first like
say it.
fraternity that was founded on a HBCU
There you
campus.
go.
So
Say
that's
it.
iconic. Like
Very
that's
iconic.
amazing in and of itself.
It
So
is.
why did you decide to join Omega Sci-Fi?
Okay, so this is a very interesting conversation, and it's a great story. So my dad is a Q, and he pledged at Howard,
Mm,
and I call him my great uncle. He pledged to FAMU as a Q, right? my it's all in my family. My grandma's a
Amazing.
Delta from Howard. My aunt is a Delta from Howard. My great aunt, she's a Delta from Howard. My
And is
my
that your
my aunt
sister?
this is
That's the sister
yes.
organization? Okay,
Yep.
got you.
And then my other uncle, he's from Cheney. So all of this, and I was like, I ain't in all that. My dad was like, all right, I was like, man, I'm just trying to go to college. I'm having fun. I'm skipping class. I'm
Mm,
going to class. I'm just
mm.
living a college life, right?
Right.
And I'll never forget it. He drops me off one day. He's like, hey, you should just check out the queues on campus. And I was like,
What year were you at this point when he said
I
this?
was this was freshman year, 2001.
Was it
I might have been a sophomore. Might have
got
been,
you.
yeah,
Okay.
might have been in 2000 because 2001 came out when I was a freshman. So yeah, it had to be either it was in 2001. So either it was the end of my freshman year or beginning of my sophomore year.
Got you.
I know
At
it
least
was
the
the beginning
second,
of my
yeah.
sophomore year. It was my sophomore year.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man. He was like, man, listen. He said, just go talk to him. I said, all right, man. I'll see what these guys are about, man. I mean, they're in my family, but I never like. So my family, they talk about it, but they don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
They wear their colors. They step, but they don't really be like. They don't force it on you. You need
Right.
to do this. They do say, hey, you should go to HBCU though. They don't care
Right.
if you know what I'm saying. Like they're not one of those families like you have to be
Pledge and carry on
right.
the lineage and
No, no,
mm-hmm.
no, no. So I was like, all right, whatever, man. So I went up to one of my frat brothers. He's a good friend now, and he was like, I saw what they were about, and I was like, man, these guys are cool. They're stepping on campus. They're saying outrageous, landish things, and I was like, yo, like I kind of fit in with that. And then the first thing I asked him, I was like, hey, because listen, everybody knows this is the fact. Pledging doesn't exist, but it does. Okay, it's a worldwide thing. So you got to
Oh, we're
be,
gonna get into that.
yeah, you got to be very quiet, right? So I was like, I brought him to the side and I whispered. I was like, hey, he's like, they call me Squirrel. I was like, Squirrel, what's up, man? I was like, what's up? I was like, I'm trying to. He was like, trying to do what?
Y'all at a party with loud music, trying to do what? Like, why are you screaming and I'm whispering?
Because he doesn't,
Match my level.
he knows what I'm trying to do. He
Yeah,
just wants to be
he
like,
try to play
yeah,
you low key.
yeah. He's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
tell me what
Making
you
it
want,
hard.
bro. Yeah, making it hard. I was like, I'm trying to play. And he was like, he looked at me and was like, you trying to sparrow? Because like I was on campus, I was known, I was a cool guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like people calling me squirrel. I was chilling, I relaxed, I was always on the party. I was just a cool guy. And he's like, you trying to get down? I was like, yeah, I want to see what it's about. And this is when I knew I was like, all right, I'm a try. I'm a make it. He was like, you can get your ass beat, right? And I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Hmm.
And then I was like, I want to see what I want to see what these guys are about because they're so mysterious. Like I would look at all the other like probates, right? The Kappas are probate, the Alphas are probate, the Sigmas, and all of them would kind of do like their death march. And the
What's a
Q.
probate? Describe what's a
Oh,
probate for
okay.
maybe somebody who doesn't know.
A probate is the day when you cross they call it crossing the burning sands, and it's because you are finished your process online and you're showing the world that I'm a Q or I'm a Sigma or I'm a Kappa. It is the day that you're showing the world I've completed my process. Here I am. That's a
Okay, got
probate,
you. So
and
it's
it, and
probate.
it
Okay.
consists of like songs and greetings and stepping. So
It's those days because that's usually in the spring, right? I'm sorry, I
yes,
have not been to I haven't
no,
been
it's
to
in the
college in
spring. I just
decades.
went to one. Yes, it's in the spring. Most of
Right.
them in the spring. Yes.
And they're amazing. So me, I go, be walking to class, but I see
Hmm.
all this commotion, and people are like, "Oh yeah, they got to come out on this day." You're not supposed to know, but somehow things get
It
leaked,
always
and
gets leaked.
yeah, because what ends up happening is you'll have older, members that are on
Yeah,
campus, and so
they'll leak
like
it.
these people are about to like you said,
See them pop up.
cross, do the probate, and
Mhm.
it's I know on Howard's campus,
It's
straight
wild.
melee as far as just so many people,
It's crazy.
and it's a beautiful sight, man. I really do a lot. I
Mhm.
do like the shows. I do like the shows. But yeah,
Yeah.
continue.
So then I just so yeah, so everybody would probate, right? And during the probate, they would have some sort of like a death march. They're holding a brick or holding a stone and carrying it for long periods of time. And I
Mm.
was like, yo, the Qs don't have a death march. They just come out crazy. You know how they come out crazy like that.
Oh
I found
man.
out. I found out real quick
Mm.
when they come out crazy. And I was like, I just it was the mystery. And I was like, and all and most of those guys were I was cool with. I was cool with a lot of them. And I was like, man, if I'm cool with them and I gotta go through this crazy process, I might as well join. And I tell people this all the time. Do not get pressured into joining a fraternity or sorority. It has to fit you. You have to do it for you because it's a lot of work after you're done. And if it doesn't fit you, you're going to be at odds. You
So
have
what do
to make
you
sure it fits you, that you want to do
so
it.
so what do you mean by that? Because here's my question
Yeah.
with that, right? You're saying, okay, choose something that fits you. Are you
Yeah.
saying fits you as far as the members that are on your campus and how they're vibing? Are you saying fits you as far as because these organizations, they are like businesses essentially, right?
They're businesses.
Nonprofits, but it's
They're
a business,
nonprofit
and they
business.
have mission statements, and they have a
Yes.
culture that they
Yes.
believe in. So are you
Yes.
saying fits you in that way? Because I feel like with stuff like that, if
Yeah.
I'm a freshman, if I'm 18 years old, just came
Yeah.
from high school,
Yes.
I don't know how to assimilate all this information from deltas to AKAs,
Yeah.
all the different ones. I'm sorry, the other ones are slipping my mind. But I don't know how to distinguish, like, how is this organization for me as far as what they stand for past these
Yes.
stereotypical things that
Yes.
you see. You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how so what would be your advice as far as like how, you telling somebody you have to go with what fits you? Like, what does that mean exactly?
Okay. So you hit it on the nose. I'm going to tell people find out their core values. Every fraternity sorority has core values because it is a business. And you got to look up and see if that fits who you are. When I mean fits, it means like, all right, Q's is friendship is central to the soul. That's what I love,
You said
right?
accuses what?
Friendship is central to the soul. That's our main thing. We love
Oh,
that.
okay. Gotcha.
Friendship, right? And then you have other fraternities that didn't align with that. So it's kind of a it's kind of uh it's not a conundrum, but it's something where you're gonna have to do your due diligence.
So did you look up the other values of like the Noops or Kappa, sorry, or the Iotas? Like, did you go through the other organizations, the Alphas, to see do their core values, or was it more of um not only just your family, but the friends or the people on campus, and you just seeing how they're acting?
I
Because I feel
saw
like
how
that's
they
how
were
most
acting.
people,
I
I
saw
feel
how
like
they
that's how
acted.
most, okay, thank
Yeah.
you for your honesty.
I saw
Because I
I
feel
was
like
like,
you
I'm
get
not doing none of those
this
guys.
very politically correct,
Yeah.
you need to know our core values, but what I
And
researched,
people that looking that up.
nobody's looking at that because
I know one
you're
person that
asking,
looked that up. One.
yeah, but you're asking an 18 and 19-year-old to
Yeah.
try to research all these things and
Mhm.
break it down. Hey man, not everybody went to really good high schools,
Nope.
okay? but we all got here somehow. So not everybody's on that critical thinking level. We're not the same.
I'm not
So
doing none of
so
that.
all you can go off of is visuals. Like,
Yep.
okay, I see how these women are acting on campus.
Uh-huh.
I want to do that. And then I feel like it's after the fact, as you delve more into and you attend the events, do you learn more? Because it's like this big secrecy. When I was trying to, figure out if I wanted to join a sorority, I
Yeah.
go to, some of their events and try to figure it out. They had one Divine Nine book. I was just I was confused. I didn't know what the fuck was
It's a
going on.
lot going on, man.
And I didn't have anybody in my family who had pledged. I didn't know. I'm telling you, first
Yeah.
generation Nigerian, bro. Nobody's worried about that stuff.
Nobody,
You go to
yeah, it's a
school,
different
you
thing.
become a doctor, you become a lawyer, you become an engineer.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for that honesty, because I feel like at the core, there are differences with
Yes.
the fraternities and sororities,
Yeah.
but overall, it's, your service to your community, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
coming together. So
There's a difference, but yes, we do come together, especially on campus. Like, I don't know if people like, I didn't know that before I joined. I was like, oh, they just be partying. No, 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 guys. Like,
yeah.
we have to meet with the school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every time we have to event, we got to make sure the room's not used. Then we have to make sure, you know, you got to coordinate with student government and coordinate with the other fraternities and sororities to make sure there's no events thrown during your week. Y'all have to get together and get a theme for homecoming. You have to get together and get a theme for Spring Fest. These happens. I was like,
But these are
I was
necessary
like, this
social
is
events. Yeah.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Mm-hmm.
in there. I was like, yes, I'm about to party. They was like, nah, you about to
You
work,
about to work.
and you got to go to this meeting. And I was
Yeah.
like, what?
You
I
gotta
got in
work.
the meeting. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you see members of fraternities or sororities. They're partying. But guys, it is a lot. Well, okay, let me backtrack. There's a lot of work that you don't see that is being
Mm.
done behind the scenes. So listen, I've had some people tell me, man, I just joined it because of the women, or I'm trying to party, which is cool. But just know that you're gonna. It's so much more in depth in that. You got to go to national meetings. You got to go to
It's a
local
lifetime
meetings.
commitment. And
Yeah,
then the
got to
dues,
pay the dues. It's a lifetime commitment.
which could be in the thousands, I've heard.
Yes, easily. Hmm.
Hmm.
Very easy. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. All right. No, but you've already touched on, because my next question was like, what would be
Yeah.
some advice you would give to somebody who's trying to join? Like, say there was
Okay.
somebody on campus, they were
Yeah.
interested in being a Q, but
Yeah.
kind of didn't know how to go about it. Like, my main thing I want to know is like, what's the right way to go about it, and
Got
what
you.
are things that turn y'all off to be like, no, I don't want this guy.
Okay, the right way to go about it, guys, is just hang out with the Qs. Just hang out with them. They're gonna have events. They're gonna have random events. Just go, and start meeting them. Listen, uh, it's a very interesting thing. It is very uncomfortable because
Yeah,
this is
thank you.
something that
It's not
it's very
comfortable
uncomfortable.
because you're like, oh, just go meet him. First of
No, it's
all,
very
it's
uncomfortable.
hard to make friends or try to meet somebody when they know that there's an agenda for you meeting. Like,
Yes.
you're trying to be a part of the organization. Because when I was in that process, the women, they were kind of standoffish. They didn't want to have conversations. You saw people trying to track people down, jumping out of bushes to try to like track down somebody to ask them, how to join and just express their interest. And it was
It, it was
off-putting.
it was it
It was
was it was
off-putting.
too much. I don't like
It's too
I don't
much.
I don't like that.
I don't like forced
No, no, no. I was one of those
interactions.
I was one of those guys. Like, you're gonna get that with everything, right? Some
Mm-hmm.
people in fraternities are not approachable. Some are.
Right.
I was an approachable guy, just like how I am now. I was, you know,
You know, you
uh,
are though. You're very approachable.
approachable, yeah. But now,
And
it's different. If you are another Q, then it's a it's I'm a different person. But if you're a regular guy trying to get information, I don't care. Yeah, I'll tell you everything. You know.
And see, you're a good guy for that because I feel like some people
Not everything,
and
but I'm
it's
gonna tell you like, yeah, do this, you
right.
know.
And I feel like there we touched on the good and bad, and you said something very, profound in our last podcast episode, and that was on, social media. Is it good or bad? And you're like, man, there's always with good, there's always going to be a bad.
Mhm.
So I feel like there's the same thing with Black Greek letter organizations, right? Like
Yes.
there's good. I feel like y'all do a lot of good things, but I feel like the bad, and you kind of touched on it with the whole, people not being approachable, where people kind of who aren't in these organizations, and sometimes people who are just disgusted by their fellow members, like
Yeah.
this elitist air, and it almost causes, some type
Yeah.
of separation, or you feel like, oh, I'm too good to hang out with you, we got our
Yeah.
own clique over here, and almost on some like gang shit, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. It could come off like that because uh it's the good and bad with everything. And I just know who I am as a core person. But I know people that have changed. And listen, I'm not here to judge, and it's okay. But I just always go back to the point, like, hey, man, you gotta always be who you are, because you get. And now that person could have been that person the whole time,
They
but
probably were. This wasn't nothing that just got beat into them or whatever. What happened is they were waiting for their opportunity, and now that they got it, now they're
yeah,
you know,
and I've seen it. It's just
they're
not with.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to make sure, guys, it's just not with my organization. I've seen it with other organizations, fraternities, and sororities. I've seen it.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. We've all seen the
you are
transformation.
that person.
Yeah.
You are not that person. You are not him.
You're
I
not
know who
him.
you are, Herb. I
As the
know
kids
who
love to
you are.
say,
Yeah.
you're not he's like
You
they
know what I'm
say,
saying?
he's him, you're not him,
You're not
sir.
him.
You are not him.
Yeah, I've seen
And
it.
for me, it's off-putting and it's disgusting, but it happens. But I will say this,
Yeah.
I feel like not only every organization, like on camp, like every fraternity is different, every chapter is different.
Yes.
So I feel like with people that have these negative experiences and perceptions on, different fraternities and sororities, I feel like it shouldn't be this blanketed thing where
Yes.
now they're all bad and they all need to be shut down, and they're all elitist and they're all this and snobby and stuck up, because maybe there are some people, like you said, there are people that are like that, but that can't be now this generalized thing for every single person, because JT, you're a cool guy, like you're really chill, and like you said, you're open, you're like, I'll share information with anybody, but that's not how everybody is.
Yeah. I know. I know.
Do you even
It's a
check him,
real.
like, dang bro, like have you ever checked
Oh,
somebody? You just let
I
people do
I
them?
just be like,
Okay.
dog, like you're a wild guy, man. Just
Mm.
sometimes
And
you
it's
gotta
like almost like a
calm
power
down.
trip a little bit.
Yeah, like golly, man. It's,
But so
we're all just
hard.
here to have fun. Now it's a difference if listen if I don't know you now. If it's a difference, it's I'm a different person if you're trying to join my fraternity and you've made it past a certain point, because at that point it has to be earned. But if you're just a regular person, I don't care.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
but
you get, when it gets to a certain point, you go through your shutdown. It's gonna get really hard for you, motherfucker. Like
oh
basically,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay,
Oh yeah,
damn,
yeah. I'm known for that. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's not even
okay,
like no joking or nothing. I couldn't even lie. People be in the comments like, "Come on, dog."
damn,
don't lie out here. So I can't even lie.
got you.
I you know
Okay,
not I'm
so
not like that now, but I used to be very. I'm just a I'm big on uh I'm big on consequences and repercussions. I take it very seriously. That's all. I'm
okay,
cool, but I take it serious. Like
so
like
you,
LeBron cool, but he's gonna take it. Kobe
oh,
cool
for sure,
outside of basketball, but when
yeah,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
inside those lines, that's
It's
how I am.
no, it
I'm a
comes
different
in,
person.
whole nother beast. So you were saying for somebody trying to pledge, go to parties, try to have
Hmm.
conversations with them, and then what else would that entail?
Um, go. Let's see. Have conversations. Go talk. Mingle. Try to hang out with them off campus. Um, and just in my dad always had advice. Just listen to him. You know, follow instructions.
So what
And
are you looking for, like, in somebody? Is it a thing of, I just want to, like, is this person going to be cool to hang out with? Is this person going to be cool to party with? Or maybe this guy's a little bit dorky, or maybe not socially, cool. Maybe a little, just a
yeah,
little dorky,
I
shall I
don't care
say?
about none of that.
So
I
are
don't
you
care if
looking
you're
for?
dorky. I don't care if you're
Yeah.
cool. I just
So what are you
care
looking
if you're here
for?
to work.
You just
I
care. You
want
want
to
to see
make.
if somebody's going to work.
I want to see if you can, work for my fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at your character issues. I want to see if you're a good person. If you lie, like I
Mm,
want. That's what I want to see. I don't. If you're a dork, I don't care. I don't care if you're a football player. I don't care if you chief all day. I
mm-hmm.
don't care. I don't care if you are a nerd. As long as you're a good person and you're here to work for my fraternity, then you good with me.
Okay.
Like, because everybody's is different. I can't knock a person because they like to play video games instead of read instead of hang out.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care about that. You could. That's cool, man. We could do it together, but I need you to work. The
Right. Because I just feel like there's these overarching, like, stereotypes, with
yes,
every, like, fraternity, sorority. Obviously, Q dogs. I mean, the parties are just wild.
part is
You
wild.
understand what I'm saying? Like,
Internet doesn't
just
help that either.
doesn't help that
Doesn't
the
help.
kappas, you got the pretty boys or
Yep.
whatever, and then, with the alphas, the brainiacs, or
Yep.
whatever you
Go
want to call
ahead.
it.
Yep.
So that's kind of like
Mhm.
what I got and what everybody kind of felt.
Yes.
So so that's what I was asking, like, do y'all, are y'all looking for more dudes? Because it just felt like Q's just had a whole bunch of swole niggas, like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. It's
like,
not like a lot.
y'all were big dudes,
It's a lot.
man,
It's a
like
lot
big
of football
dudes.
players. It's a lot of big guys.
Yeah, so it's
It's
just
a
like,
lot. It's a
you
lot of
try
big
to
guys.
not stay in that stereotype,
Nah. I
like,
mean,
but it just seems like that's
yeah.
what gets chosen. So it's very interesting.
I was not
So
a football guy. I was far from it.
yeah, you don't look like you play football. So you're
So,
saying, go to the events, try to have
yep.
conversations,
Yeah.
and then there's just like a I guess an opportunity where you express your interest. You would put an application, JT. I don't know.
No. Once you express the interest and they see that you have good character and qualities that they're looking for, then Um,
Would they put your name up on the board, like, you
no.
got to go check to make sure you made the basketball team type
No,
shit,
no.
like
You
tryouts?
gotta make sure you do have the grades, though, guys. A grade GPA is important. Um, you can't. There's no way to get past that. If you don't have a GPA, you can't do it. That's what
So
stopped me.
that's
Like for a
interesting.
while.
'Cause, yeah, you were telling me before that because I heard things like your GPA ends up dropping during the pledging process because it's
Yes.
just too much going on. But
Yes.
for you, your GPA, at least initially, you had to raise it, so it actually motivated you to shoot for a higher GPA just so you could pledge,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now,
It
did it
turned into.
drop while you were pledging? Because you said you had a
It
full time
did.
job.
It did.
Shit.
It did.
Mm,
But I got it right back up. Because the great thing is, I was listen, guys. I was one of those guys on campus that you saw that was always hanging out. I was always at all the parties. I was in class, but I wasn't, and I
mm.
was barely making it. I was like, I'm just here living a good life. Okay, guys, I'm living a college life.
I
I'm in
understand.
here. And then when I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this GPA. I was like, I looked back and was like, okay, okay, James.
Your
this
shit
this
was
is this,
dangerously
this
low,
is this
JT.
is ridiculous. This is a
Your shit was low.
2.3. Gotta get this up, guys.
That was
What are you
crazy.
doing?
What was your
Yes,
major?
criminal justice.
Come on
Yeah, there
now.
was no reason. No reason. I was like, this is ridiculous. So then
Yeah, you definitely not
I
working with Olivia Benson with no damn 2.3
no,
GPA.
I,
She's not studying you.
so then I just put my head in the books. I was like, all right, I gotta stop hanging out as much, and then my GPA just slowly started to grow. And then when I got there, I had to take a winter course, and then I had to be like, I need this A. What can I do?
Yeah, you
And
gotta talk to your professors, man.
she was like, all right, just do the special project. And I had to go to uh, General Hospital, right? Southeast DC by Stadium Armory
We gotta go there for.
because I had to go talk to the what's it called? The halfway house for heroin victims.
Oh shit.
That was real. I had to go there for. I went
Damn.
there like a couple hours. I wrote
Oof.
I wrote a paper on it, and then she gave me my A.
Yeah,
I
don't
was like,
do those type of drugs. I'm not
yeah,
saying don't
yeah,
do drugs. I
yeah,
mean,
but
don't
that
do
joint,
drugs, but those are a little
yeah,
those
that's a
get a little
little.
dicey.
It was
Whoo, it's
real,
hard
man.
drug.
There was,
Trying to kick
yeah,
that horse.
it kind of opened my mind. I was like, wow,
Never tried that.
this is interesting. But yeah,
So so
I had to
so are
be
you in
my scholar.
crime? Are you do criminal justice? I don't even know what you do, honestly.
No, I don't. It's far
Oh,
from it.
okay. All
That's
right,
a
good. I'm a
different
good friend then.
podcast, guys.
Okay.
That's a
Got you.
different podcast.
Okay, okay.
We could talk about that's a good topic. Talk about what you get the degree in versus what you do. That's a good.
So how long was your pledging process? Like how was it a few weeks, a lot, 2 months? Like what was that about?
About a couple months, cause it's a couple
A couple
months.
months.
Yeah, cause it's like it goes. You know,
That's
it's
treacherous.
it's it's
Man, I
it's,
was
it's
seeing
like
people losing
it's
weight, looking stressed
yeah.
out, bro.
I was losing weight.
See them on campus, they can't
I
say
took
hi, moving,
I
just
can't you
moving.
can't you can't you gotta move. You gotta be careful. Okay, you can't be on campus like that. You don't want to be called on campus.
Damn.
Why are you hanging out? You have
Hanging
homework to
out.
do. You have
You
so
just
much
trying to
stuff
get to
to
your
do.
class. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
you can't be seen. You cannot be seen going to class.
Shit.
You can't because I'm gonna be honest. If I'm on campus and I'm cute and I see you, that means that you're just lollygagging around or something. You're just here hanging out.
Oh wow. So I just can't make it from point
I
A to B.
shouldn't see you. You should
Okay.
be
So
incognito.
they should just teleport themselves.
Yeah, you better. You better find
Perfect.
a way. That's what I did.
Perfect.
I was. Let me tell you something. People didn't even know I was in school. They never saw me on campus, but I was always on campus. I was.
Mm.
Let me tell you something. You learn how to move in the shadows. Okay. You know how to walk very quickly and quietly. You know how to move. Um, Here's the story I was telling Faith. I was online and I was like, yo, somebody in here, this is ridiculous. Somebody in here didn't take a bath.
Oh
They
no.
smell crazy. And
No.
I started looking around like, does nobody
Oh,
else fucking smell this?
it's fucking you, probably.
This is crazy. And then I went like this. Like,
It
damn,
was you. Fuck.
did I shower
Ah,
this morning? I
damn.
don't don't know. The days are just going into each other.
I'm mad you thought it was somebody else. Somebody
I did.
smells awful.
I
What the
was
balls
like
of you
this
coming in here
from coming
smelling
out.
like this? Like you
Who
were
comes
offended.
outside the house like this? I was
It
offended.
was you.
It was me. And I was just sitting there.
Fuck. And they're probably in their heads thinking like, this motherfucker stinks.
This dude is wilding out in here. And I was just like, and then when I found out it was me, I was like, just got humbled. Humbled really, really quickly.
Because I bet you were being super judgy in your head.
Yeah, super. And I was like,
Typical.
oh.
Did anybody say anything to you?
No, I was just looking like, oh, I need to get out
Yep, and you can't get out of there.
of here.
So
Yeah.
there's that. So,
Yeah.
so how many people were on your line? Like, how many people crossed with you?
Nobody. I crossed by myself.
What?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so how many people
It
started?
um,
Damn.
well, it was three of us,
And then there was
but
one.
then so the grades start coming in, and and then it happens, right? People don't
Mm-hmm.
have the grades. It's a lot. The grades is crazy, man.
Yeah, I
There's a
mean,
lot of people that don't get them, and the guy that was with me that didn't get them, he ended up pledging later when he really got them.
okay.
He was like,
Yeah, I
"Hey,"
mean, you can't really
it was so
lie
funny.
about that.
He
Yeah.
came to me, he was like, "Hey, I'm ready." I was like, "Jeez, man, good luck." I was like, "Good luck." That's my man. No, that's my man. I seen him
Oh
the other day.
shit.
I was like,
He said
"Good
good luck.
luck." This is not
Wow.
2005, man. But he ended up making it. That's my man
Okay.
too. And then the other guy that was with me left.
So how was that because it's very because okay, so let's talk about this, right?
Yeah,
Because the thing that's stressed, right, is brotherhood, right? and
yeah,
and you'll obviously have like an extended family of brotherhoods, but
mhm,
I think there is a special bond with your line brothers,
yes,
and you not having not a single one.
yeah,
Like, how was that? Because now, because I've seen, probate, and it's just
yeah,
like two, three niggas, and that's it.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can
yeah,
tell they started off with more,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
they didn't make it. So
Yes.
how was that probate show for you with just you?
Uh, it was awesome, but I do wish I had like a line brother, line brothers, but
Yeah,
I don't know. People be calling me crazy, so I'm not though. I
I don't
wanted
think
to
you're
finish.
crazy.
Now here's the funny thing. So I crossed by myself that year. Bowie State, Maryland
Mm-hmm.
Eastern Shore had a guy cross by himself. He was a Q two. University of Maryland Eastern Shore had a guy cross by himself. Stony Brook University in New York had a guy cross by himself. And
Damn,
University of Baltimore County had a guy cross by himself.
that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's really
So yeah,
crazy.
so I'm cool with all them, but it's just it is what it is, man. Like
Because I feel like you have stories and shared experiences, right?
yeah,
That even though you now are become a member and then you're the ones that I guess pledge other people. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know any of the terminology, but
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
now a member, and like people are coming up to you, and you have
yeah,
to partake in the process of
yeah,
seeing if they have what it takes.
yeah.
Which brings me to the hazing. So you're saying pledging, but then there's hazing, which is illegal.
Omega Psi Phi fraternity is a non-hazing organization.
Okay, soundbite. Okay. Yeah, that I know they drilled that into your ass because and listen, this is the thing. I bet every fraternity and sorority they say
Yes,
that, but then you still
you
have
get
these
called on the
rogue.
news. Yeah,
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 you get these rogue chapters. Somebody died or
it's
took too much
craziness.
wood to where now
Yep,
they can't sit down,
yep,
and I feel like that's too much.
yep, yeah.
So I watched a interview with Roland Martin, funny
Mm-hmm.
dude, very highly educated dude.
He's an alpha too.
He's an alpha, very controversial,
Hmm.
and
I
he
like
was
him,
so
man.
anti-hazing. And I mean, you got to watch the video, and the way he broke it down is just like, what kind of nonsense is like this whole concept of, oh, we break you down to build you up. He's like, why are we breaking people down? And we should be promoting unity. And I feel like from the stories that I heard from people who had crossed, it was almost like this badge of honor, like sharing stories of like how crazy the pledging process is, and it glorified it to where the next class, like, man, we're gonna one up it and make it even harder and crazier. And then that's how you get into these situations where
Yeah.
it moves from pledging to hazing to somebody dying.
Yes.
You understand? So
It,
what, like, is that do you think that's a culture, like if somebody came up to you and said, I didn't get beat, all I did was push, like in it, their story wasn't so crazy, like all the things that they had to do, would they get less respect?
so that's a very interesting question because I get what Roland Martin said, and he
It's crazy over there.
he yeah. I hear what Roland Martin said, and Roland Martin actually pledged, right? But I understand when it comes to you get a certain age, you reflect.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts on it are it's a traditional process, right? And you sign up for it, you go through it, but on our end, it uh has to have guidelines and rules where it's safety for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to,
Yeah.
you don't ever want to be in a place of extremities.
Right.
Because once you cross the line, then you got to feel like you got to keep crossing and crossing, and then that's when you get into the danger zone because you actually take away you actually take away somebody's enjoyment of a process,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it
Mm-hmm.
affects their families.
Yeah.
It affects the people that they were with. I think sometimes it just gets too out of control, but that's up to the people in the fraternity and sororities have to be responsible for that,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
have to have guidance. Like sometimes, some chapters don't have you know guidance from older members because you got to need that. You don't have to have older members like hey
Yeah, you're
hey
taking it
hey
too far.
hey,
You're getting out of control.
watch what's going on. Watch your surroundings, guys. Pay
Yeah.
attention. Pay
Mm-hmm.
attention.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want anything to happen.
Because
So
people have died.
people, yeah. You
People
know,
have legitimately died.
yes,
Or
um,
just had PTSD, were so traumatized, hated the
yes.
process so much, it was hard to come back from that, break you
Oh
down,
yeah,
build
yeah,
you up
yeah.
mindset to where, like, man, fuck these niggas, man. I don't give a
Yes,
goddamn.
I
Like,
I know. Mhm. Yeah, I understand. Yes, I know. It's. I don't know anyone.
But you're not like that though.
No.
Y'all's organization isn't like that. But you know of situations like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I do, and it's like it sucks. And then when I read the article, I'm like, oh,
mm-hmm.
sucks.
Because it affects
Because
your
because
whole organization.
yeah, and it affects the whole divine nine, right? If
Yes.
if
Oh
Kappas
yeah.
do it, it just trickles down. If we do it,
Yep.
then people are looking at the deltas and the AKAs, the iotas, like what's going on? Is this because it's yes, we do get on each other's nerves, but it's at the bottom, the end of the day, we're all the divine nine, we're all fraternities and sororities, so it's like
You're
we're
all
all
part of the
cool.
National Hellenic
Yeah,
Council.
yeah. So it's
Y'all
like
have the same purpose, making the black
yes,
community great, making it
yes.
strong. Yeah,
So
yeah,
if one does it, it sucks.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it sucks.
Because the general public now, they're just gonna group it all together. Oh, these
Everything.
black fraternity. You understand? Like,
They're
there's
gonna
not gonna
group
be,
everything.
oh, it was only
One
alpha kappa
person.
alphas, or oh, it was
Mhm.
only the cute. No, it's
It could
gonna
have been
be,
a
it's
rogue
everybody.
person that was suspended, but that doesn't get talked about. Or it could have been a prominent member, but it gets it's a blanket
Do
statement. It's
but
like
do you think that that's just something that happens in the black community in general? So it, like,
yes,
when one person does something, now it's like this blanketed thing for all, and like, oh, I hate black people, man. They always doing,
yes.
but it's like, actually, it was just these few people are that were doing it.
Group. Black people fight that we call thugs.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So no, it's very interesting, and I feel
Like
like those are the conversations because I feel like there are better ways to kind of go about it to where you don't have these horror stories and you don't have this reputation, even though
mhm,
your chapter it wasn't responsible. You didn't know what these people were doing underground or in the dark or whatever,
mhm.
and it's come out now. You're trying to do damage control, so and at that point it's kind of too late.
Yeah, once it's too late. Once you
So
gotta do damage control, it's a wrap.
Mm. So my thing is this: why aren't older members going to all these chapters? Because one thing about like the IOTAs, right?
Yeah,
They take pride in the fact that since they were incorporated or
the founders are
founded
still
in
alive.
like the six, their founders are still alive.
Mhm.
That's very interesting, right? There's two ways you could
Yeah,
take it, but I think that is
there's
very
two
interesting.
ways you can
So
take it, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish my founders were alive so
because
I
then
could
I
be
feel
like,
like you can
yo,
have more
tap
control.
in. Yeah,
Right, over okay, what was y'all's vision? What did y'all really want out of this organization? Because
yeah.
I feel like
I would just like to have a
as it goes
conversation.
on, yeah, right, the lineage goes on, it kind of gets
Mm,
weakened. That original vision gets, and that's just with empires, the
everything.
different companies. It's very hard to
Yes,
keep the original culture like the same and
it's
intact.
hard.
It's very difficult.
It's very difficult.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
but
mm, mm.
I remember. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be like, "Oh, their founders are still alive," and now I'm like, you know what? It's just I. It would be cool if I could talk to them.
Mhm. Because incorporation process, all that stuff is it's very tedious. It's very
Yes,
intricate. A
very
lot of
intricate. It's
thought
very
has to go
hard.
behind that, and maybe there are
Yeah,
things that they learned from other, you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
organizations. Like just because you're first, don't mean you're better or the best.
No, and it
That
was
means you
very
did it. You're doing it the
difficult.
best. Yeah.
Like even okay, it was hard for the Iotas, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like for Kappas and Qs
Mm-hmm.
and deltas. We had to do it when the time where black people were oppressed for real in the
Treacherous.
1900s.
Treacherous.
The
Early 19. Yeah.
early 1900s, like slavery just ended, but it was still like it was still very real and active.
Hell yeah. Just because they said it ended legislatively don't mean people stop practicing it.
Yeah,
And you
all
saw
of you crazy.
how
Yeah,
racism still goes on now. So I can only imagine how much more potent it was during that time. So it's
for them to
necessary to
get it
have,
passed. Yeah,
it's necessary because didn't alphas they started what at Cornell? So that's not a black
Cornell.
school, that's a white
No,
school. So I can see how
Tabitha,
you would start
Indiana.
something for safety. Like these
Yeah,
people are crazy.
yeah, yes. And
So
then at Howard, it was hard too because we like HBCUs now and they have black. I don't feel like a lot of HBCUs had black presidents back then.
right. Yeah, Oliver something, General Oliver, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, but he was white.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
Howard,
I
it
think
was
it's the president,
Thurkill.
the
It was
president of the
Thurkill.
school. I don't know about the organization. President of the
Yeah,
school
the
was
president
white.
school,
So
Thurkill. So on Howard, Thurkill Hall, Thurkill was a white guy at the HBCU president. And I feel like it's probably at a lot of HBCUs,
hmm had to start
which
somewhere.
is
But
yeah,
so so I have another question, right? Because
yep,
I kind of touched on it a little bit with like the pledging process and
yep,
like the amount of respect you get based on like how you pledged or what your process entailed. I know for women, for sororities,
yeah,
there's this thing where it's called legacy, right?
yeah,
And at Howard, there's a lot of legacy, especially with like the AKAs,
yeah.
and there's no knock, but it's like
A lot of
they
legacy
have
in
to
Deltas
cross.
too.
You gotta accept, the kids of members.
Yes.
So I remember, I think it was my sophomore or junior year, bro. I felt like the line was like 107 people, bro. I didn't gonna lie to you. It
Yeah.
was it
It's
was
a,
it was
it's
so
a, it's
many.
my both of my aunts, they are legacies.
Did they do
My
that with
aunt
men?
Joyce, my aunt Joyce, no, they don't.
Men are
Well,
different.
yeah, I told. I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, my dad's a QI. We don't care.
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Yep. I was like, oh,
Right.
this is gonna be wild.
Yeah, so you get
It's
no
kind of
pass.
harder because now it's like, oh, we know we expect more because you know about it and it's in your family.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you get a pass or you're gonna automatically be accepted or get picked, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's not
and
automatic.
I feel
Yeah,
like it's a double edged sword. I feel like I understand you being legacy, right? Because
yeah,
if
yeah.
if I am in a sorority and I want my children, my daughter to continue that, right? It's a
Uh-huh.
lineage thing. It's a like we got
Yeah,
to keep this
yes,
strong, and I want to instill the values
yeah,
for her as she's coming into her womanhood. Makes sense. But then
yeah.
on the other side is what if their person, their mom wasn't AKA or a Delta? You know what I'm saying? So they had to earn it on their
Yeah,
own. So you're
yeah,
kind of robbing your child of earning,
yeah.
that spot and
That's what
possibly
my
not getting picked.
that's what my dad was like. Yo, I'm not gonna put pressure. There's no pressure, man. No pressure. Like if you want to
Hmm.
do it, you want to do it. And I was just like, man, let me just see what these guys about. And the rest is history. But it took me a long time. I had to get my grades up. It took me a while.
Yeah, because they were so low. They were so fucking
Yeah.
low. Why were they that low?
uh,
I just try to
I
figure
was
it out,
hanging out.
Hanging out is
I'm
tough.
telling you, man, one of my frat brothers said this to me. He was like, I don't know how they let you. You never went to class. I was like, chill, man. I got my grades up.
You know,
I got my grades up, man. but
barely, but you got it up, and
I got
and
it
I'm
up.
proud of you for that.
Yeah.
Um, so do you think the good that fraternity and sororities do outweigh the bad?
Yes, I do. Especially nowadays, and then how much great press we get. Like, listen, like Roland Martin. I know he probably said that he disagrees with it, which I understand. I get it. I understand he's older, but he's still be every Alpha Founders Day in December. He's stepping.
Yep.
That's what I see. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
and you
it's
should
just
watch it though. Yeah, you should definitely watch the video
I need to
because
watch
not
that
only
again.
does he say that this isn't right, he actually offers like
I'm gonna watch
solutions or
that too
ideas.
because
Yeah,
I
I
like him, yeah. And I want to. Oh,
yeah.
there it is. Yep, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 17
It's
minutes. I'm gonna watch that
very
too.
very
He's on
insightful.
Vlad. Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
that
he was
too.
on Vlad TV.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna watch it because
exactly.
I respect him. I want to see his take on it. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
gonna
and
meet
like
him.
you said,
I'm gonna
he's
meet you one
there.
day, Roland.
Yeah, he's there on campus stepping as he should. Like
Yeah,
I feel like there's amazing history in that,
yeah,
and it is pride, and some people may call it elitist, but I think everybody has their different
yeah.
perceptions and viewpoints on things. And me, I didn't feel that way, like I'm
You
chilling. I'm hanging out with my friends and I'll hang out with whoever's cool and whoever has good
yes.
energy. I don't really care. And I feel like maybe not everybody, but maybe some of the people just had a bad experience,
Some
tried
people have.
to pledge
Some
and
people
just
have.
had a bad experience with it.
Some people have. Some people
And
have.
and
I'm
and,
not
and
gonna
some of
lie.
the experience is probably justified because people are
Yeah.
assholes, man. There are some assholes out there. You
Yes.
can't just be like everybody
Yeah.
who's a fraternity or sorority
No.
member is
Don't
an
do it.
outstanding, honorable,
Don't do it.
justified. No, 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 no. There are assholes out there.
Yes.
No matter what colors you wear, no matter
Yes.
what company you work at,
Yes.
don't matter you in the church, they're assholes. Please
Yes.
forgive me. You understand?
Yes.
Like you're supposed to
No.
be,
It's a real thing. It's a real thing, guys.
upstanding citizens, Christians, but there are people who don't act
Will
as they should,
don't act as
no
they
matter what.
should. Will steal. If a person is bad, a person is bad. And
Period.
I've seen it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it. I went to the probate, and one of these young ladies, they were like, "Oh, that squirrel, he's cool. He's one of the coolest." I was like, "Yeah, chill with that."
Damn. One of the cool
I
ones.
knew what she was talking about, but I ain't gonna say his
Aw.
name. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He laughs. Sometimes, listen. Sometimes he. Sometimes you're just gonna get people like that.
So yeah, so final advice before we move on to our next topic. I didn't think it
Yeah,
would run this long, but good stuff. Good stuff either way.
yeah.
What are your thoughts of pledging undergrad versus grad? Is one better than the other? And what are your thoughts on somebody pledging, like trying to start the process at the end of their freshman year or going into the
Okay.
sophomore? Do you think they should wait to maybe they're a junior or senior, or maybe wait just a little bit longer, or what are your thoughts?
Okay. So the first one, okay, undergrad versus grad. I think it depends where you're at in life
Mm,
because
right.
sometimes when you're an undergrad, it's a lot going on. And listen, man, sometimes so you people have to get rid of that notion like what if the chapter is suspended and you go to that school? You can't pledge. You have to wait till you join the
Yeah, the
grad
captains were
chapter.
suspended on my campus for
That's
a
what
little
I'm
second. Yeah.
saying.
So
You
if you
know,
wanted to pledge that, you
it
couldn't.
depends on the situation. Or you're in undergrad and you you're a father of two. You know, it's stuff. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
everybody's
life.
situation is different.
Everybody's
Yeah.
situation is different. So that's what I think about grad versus undergrad. It just depends where you at in life. Now, the difference is undergrad is you're on campus and you're just gonna enjoy it.
Hmm.
Just enhances your college life. You're just gonna be on it.
Right.
And then you got friends that pledge fraternities and sororities, and the band is just it's just you're just living a good college life. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because you'll cross and be like, oh my man crossed alpha. Oh, she crossed delta.
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's a family thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Hmm.
oh man, we were in class together, we were cool, and then you pledge. That's cool, right? That's how it is. And then grad, it kind of I think grad chapter, you're just in a different stage in life. So
Okay.
you're an adult. You
Right.
gotta handle adult things. And yeah, when you're an undergrad, man, you can lose your job. Credit can be messed up. Like
It
you're
is what
not
it
even
is.
you're
Right.
it is what it is, man. You can mess up.
Because
You know what I'm
consequences
saying?
don't weigh as heavy. You don't even think about
No,
it.
well
Like
you're
shit's moving too fast. You don't think about
yeah.
stuff like that.
You don't care.
Maxing
You're in
out credit
college.
cards. You just trying to
Yeah.
figure out damn,
F
they
this
approved me.
job. I'll
I can't
figure it
believe
out.
they approved me.
Yeah, spend it up.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So.
when you're a grad, you're like, wait a minute, I have to
Hmm.
make alternate life choices. You know what I'm saying? I have to
Yeah.
make life choices, and then I have to really be committed because you're doing it. Undergrad, it's like, listen, undergrad you pledge, and then you be in the wind. When you're a grad and you graduate, you're an adult. You have a job, you have a family, you got obligations that you have to uphold. Not saying that some people had to in undergrad, but it's more likely that if you're
Yeah.
doing a graduate that you have a profession to
Yeah.
uphold.
At
You
that
know,
point. Yeah.
you might be a doctor. Like it's a lot going on, and it's
Hmm.
probably a little bit more stressful because you got so much balance going on. As the undergrad, you lose your job, you're like, oh, you'll get over it. But as a grad,
Right.
you lose your job.
So.
That's a life changing event.
So how's the pledging process? Is there any difference? Is one less extreme than the other one because you're bringing up jobs and children? So would they now
I
kind of
think it
reduce
is.
the
I think it's.
intensity?
I think you have to. You
Right.
have to. You have to.
But are grad, chapter members, are they shown the same respect, shown the same like welcome? Is it a thing of, oh, this is your grad chapter, you didn't go through the process I did, so
You
you're
gotta
not.
get in. You gotta get in the mix. I listen.
What?
One of my good
What
advice.
you mean?
When I say that, I mean that you have to mingle amongst the undergrad fraternity brothers. Like my advisor, love him to death. Shout out to you, Sean Lamb. You made it. That's my advisor. Listen, I don't. I don't think I would have made it through college without him because he always looked out for us. He's a great guy, good friend. Um, but I would tell him all the time. I'd be like, "What you doing, man?" He'd be like, "Oh, I gotta go home." I'm like, "No, no, you coming to this probate? You gotta get in the mix. You got come
Yeah.
on, man. We're going to you. You gotta travel and talk and
Right. Okay,
get
that
out
makes
there.
sense. Yeah.
You know, because that's what undergrads are doing. Not all, but most undergrads are traveling. right? We're going to districts.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk and get to know, and
Because
then
I want to,
the gap will be bridged.
right. And not only that, it's like you went through a damn near 8 week program, like you was in training camp for boxing or something. It's kind of crazy. But when you're at that grad chapter level, you can't pledge together. So a lot of that shared trauma or hardship that you're going through in that pledging process with your line brothers, you didn't go through it obviously because you were by yourself. But a
Yeah.
lot of people talk about that as far as like connecting them and like building that sisterhood or brotherhood. So do you think the bonds are as strong in your opinion if somebody, pledged grad chapter as opposed to doing undergrad?
So from my experience, my my bond was good, and I think it's just about the level of communication,
Okay.
right? If because everybody's experience is different, and you got to be willing to open and talk. That's why I was like, yo, you got to get out and talk and know people, because perception can be everything.
Mm,
It could be like, oh, he did that. Well, get to know him and get to know a story. You can
mm-hmm.
find then you can find out what a person
What
really
he's
goes
about.
through, what
Yeah.
they're about.
But is there some type of like general sentiment around like grad chapter versus undergrad? Be honest.
Is there?
Like
I
some
think
type of like feeling.
it
Thank you
is
for your
because
honesty, sir.
it's two different worlds. It's two different worlds.
Mm,
I'm
okay.
not listen. Nothing. Listen, I love. Come on, guys. I love grad chapter bros. They know it. But like, it's a different world in undergrad. Like, it's a different monster, man. Like,
Different beast.
you're talking about you're in a fraternity or sorority when it's Spring Fest. Like, you're traveling. You're going to Mocha Fest, right? You're
Right.
traveling. You're
You're going to
traveling.
Mocha
You don't
Fest or East
care.
Campus. God damn.
You're just you're having so much fun. And when you're now, some grab guys do it, but it's just hard when you know Springfest is. This at Howard.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be an event on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. BET coming to your campus. Grad can't be
I'm
there.
not
Go
going
to
to.
work.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
With
I'm not going to
BET
class.
will be yeah.
I'm not
BET
going to class.
Springfest. I'm on
I'm on
TV.
TV. I'm on TV. Yeah, I'm not going to class.
I'm not going to class. I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
I was a server at Red Lobster. My manager.
Oh, I'm calling out Red Lobster. Somebody can
Yeah,
get their
I'm
own cheddar
out.
biscuits. You can somebody else can run those biscuits
My
and shit.
manager,
Like
my frat brother, he already knew. He's like, "You're not coming in." I was like, "You know,
endless
I'm not
shrimp
coming
ass.
in. I'm not coming in." BT Springfest is on the yard. What are you
Yeah,
talking
it's a
about?
wrap. These are the once in a lifetime opportunities.
I've been there
Don't
since 12
expect
p.m.
me. Yeah,
I
and you're
mean,
probably fucked up. You're out, and you're out.
I'm not going to work. I'm
When I
calling
say
out
day
sick.
drinking,
Yeah, but see, that's the difference. It's kind of like going to night school versus going
going to
to
school.
going to
That is
school
actually a
school.
good analogy. It's
Huh,
not the same. You don't
it's
get to
not the
see everybody on
same.
campus, not walking
Yes.
around, and all that stuff.
Now
Okay,
hit
well,
that calf experience. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love the calf.
Yeah,
The calf experience was nice, man. It was very
yeah,
nice. My cousin, she did pledge grad chapter
yeah.
for AKA, and I will say this,
Mhm.
like she's Nigerian, right? So
Yeah,
for
yeah.
her wedding, the traditional wedding, um basically all of her line sisters
Showed
showed
out.
up. They had on their African
Love,
attire. They learned the dance and like they
love.
were there, like
Yes,
everything, like bridal shower, everything. They
yes,
were there. Everything was organized. So like you said, I think it depends on the person
yeah,
because you could tell they had a bond and they were tight and they were there for her during the
yes,
biggest moment of her life, her getting married, and
yes.
she pledged grad chapter. So
And it
yeah.
happens. Like I don't.
Mm-hmm.
When people like it's a difference. No, man. It's just people go through life, man, and sometimes their journey is not meant to be in undergrad, and that's okay because
Yeah.
people go through life is hard, man. And if you got an opportunity in grad, do it. And then
And
once
I
you
f-
do it, man, come hang out, just have
and I
fun,
feel like
enjoy it.
with grad, like you said, you have a job, and there's a little bit more financial stability there because
Yes.
it's not cheap joining those organizations.
No,
Like
it's
there
not.
are dues that are due.
You have to pay an
So
entrance fee and all
when
that. Yep.
yeah, and to stay active, you need to be a member who pays their dues and stuff. And it's not just
Yep.
I'm going to wear the colors and be on campus and go to the parties and
No,
maybe do some community events here and there, but it's really for my benefit.
gotta pay the dues.
Um, so those are the members ultimately. You might shit on them that the organization
Are keeping
needs
up.
to
Yeah.
be successful.
Yeah.
And you want people, to go to grad school or to be at
Yes.
the highest level in their field because that makes your organization look better, right?
Yes.
And that's why there's
Yes.
so many honorary members
It's a
for
lot of
every
honor in every
how do
organization.
how does that work and how do you feel about that?
I
Like,
don't know how it works.
how do you not know?
I just
You
step
got
back and be like, it's an
uh
honorary
uh
member.
mm,
Like Anthony Anderson, Stephen A. I just get the news. And I'm like, oh, that's
okay.
cool. It's honorary. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like, I just know that I think honorary is like a degree. It just, boom.
Yeah. It's like a degree. They just bestow
Yeah.
it
It's
on
like,
you
here you go.
because of your
Honorary.
work,
Yeah.
your body of work, what you're doing in the community or your respective field.
Yep. So I
And
just hear it and I'm like, cool, cool.
and we're gonna by the time this episode airs, y'all, we're gonna have on our Instagram page a little poll, if you will,
Yes.
of some of the most famous sorority and fraternity members for each one, and I want y'all to vote and let me know your thoughts on like who has the top celebrities. I want to know. I
Yes.
included some honorary members just for
Yeah.
context, so but I wanted to try to keep it
True.
more so people who pledged as they were
Yeah.
in school,
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
became
Yeah.
this big
I
deal
know you
that
know.
they
Oh
are.
my goodness,
And I
I know you
know
got Felicia Rashad on there. I know you got her on
I
there
know I got
breaking.
Michael Jordan. I know
You
I got
got
Langston
Michael
Hughes,
Jordan,
Steve
got
Harvey,
Langston
Shaquille
Hughes, Steve
O'Neal.
Harvey.
That's just for
Yep,
y'all.
Shaq.
That's just for y'all.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
it's deep.
saying.
It's deep.
Um,
Said the entertainer for Cabas. This Cabas got a lot of
yep.
people on the
Kappa's
low.
Kappa's got some people, man. They got Chris
Got some people.
Broussard,
Yeah.
Mike
And
Tomlin.
I didn't
They
even.
have
I was like, what?
Penny
Chris
Hardaway.
Cash?
Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
dude,
I think
it's
Broussard is
crazy.
going. I think Chris can go hard. Let me find out.
It's we got some people on the list. We got some people on the list.
Yeah, it's
But
some
it's
good
a beautiful thing. It's a
the
beautiful thing.
alphas.
So
You know,
we'll have
I
that for
love
the
it.
alphas. They had some people, man. Dr. Martin Luther the King. You
Oh,
understand what
the
I'm
king is
saying?
on there.
Dr.
Yeah,
Martin Luther King. You got
it's
Donny
kind of
Hathaway,
like
Keenan Ivory Waynes.
Kenan Iron Wage, and we
Mm-hmm.
just talked about Roland Martin and
Yep.
oh, who was I just Amari
Stuart
Hardwick.
Scott. Oh yeah,
Yes,
Hardwick.
Stuart
Yep, my
Scott.
man
Yes,
Ghost. May
yep,
he rest
Stuart
in
Scott.
peace. Yep.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. That's my dude,
yeah,
man.
that was yeah. He's but and that's another thing when you make it right and you become a member of any fraternity or sorority, you just it's so much Black history.
I do love that.
So much Black history because people could not go. Like I was just looking at some of the phenomenal um athletes, and I was just like, yo,
Yep.
they could not
Olympic
go.
medalist. Yeah.
Yes, they could not go to white institutions.
Yep.
And they had to go to
Imagine what
HBCUs.
that energy was like back then,
It had to
where
be.
you had all these top athletes couldn't play at predominantly white, universities or institutions, and they are crushing it. So like
Crushing.
sometimes we're like,
You
man,
can't tell
I want to
me
go to the. You can't tell me
Phelps was
shit.
over Jerry Rice or Shannon Sharp. I
It's
just,
it's it's crazy. It's crazy. So now, like back in the
keep it
day, like there's
young.
this big picture of Howard versus Hampton. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that
Which
game
one's
looks
the real
so
HU? Oh
yeah,
my
the real
goodness.
HU is obviously Howard. But that game looks so I'm not even playing. That game looks so live. The stadium, it was just packed. And you could tell like this is
Yes,
at a time where the best athletes were going there. So you already know what that game was given. This is no
yes.
knock on the athletes today, but just know
No.
that our best players, they're scattered to, better facilities, better, universities and programs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
because
I wish so. Like
because
I
the
could have went back
NFL,
then.
Shannon Sharp said it. He was like, "Yo, skip. People don't know this. most of the people in NFL, the old school players came from HBCUs.
They had to.
Most of them. Like
Yeah,
a lot.
they had to. How else were they going to get
Yeah.
there? Where else
NFL
were they
was
going to
like,
play?
oh, they built it. Once again, shout out to
Man,
black people.